Hey. Welcome back to the Spontaneous Brilliance Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Kavanaugh. If you're here, then you know there is no shortage of brilliance on this planet, just a reluctance to offer it and a resistance to accepting it. We are all about offering and accepting at the intersection of creative imagination, personal responsibility, and inspired action, because life is a 24/7 improvisation. You are offering, accepting, and hopefully not blocking every minute of every day, because life is literally an improvisation by definition. And everything, every technique, every truism that helps you as an actor or as a performer have a better performance on the stage also does the same thing when applied to your performance on the great stage of life. Remember that the universe never blocks, that obstacles are what makes it all worth doing. Acting is about making the other guy look good, that every one of us is 100% responsible for our own choices, and that we have to find the love. So what we're actually going to talk about today is that we all want to become conscious creators. Now, I've said a number of times that the Spontaneous Brilliance Podcast and Spontaneous Brilliance as a whole, philosophically and practically, is about creating a world of conscious creators that recognize and express their unique creative genius. So, what is a conscious creator and how do we become conscious creators? We become conscious creators by having a conscious and loving relationship with ourselves. Now, that might sound really just sort of like a nice little phrase, but we're going to talk about how we actually do that. Conscious creators take 100% responsibility for the life that they lead. Conscious creators understand that everything in your life, in my life, everything in every one of our lives, whether we're conscious or unconscious, is a result of the choices that we make, the thoughts that we focus on, the beliefs that we hold, our response to circumstances, and the actions that we take or don't take in the pursuit of our dreams. Okay, so let me say that again. As conscious creators, we understand that everything in our life is a result of the choices we make, the thoughts we focus on, the beliefs we hold, the responses we give to circumstances, and the actions that we take or don't take in pursuit of our dreams. We take 100% responsibility for our lives. That's what we say conscious creators do. That's what I just said. Conscious creators take 100% responsibility, and you've heard me hyphenate responsibility over and over again. We have the ability to respond, right? We have 100% responsibility. And I would expand that and say we have 100% ownership of whatever's in our life. We brought it here. Now, that makes some people crazy when you say that because, if there's something bad happening in their life, they don't want to say, okay, well, that's my fault or blame. I'm not talking about fault or blame at all. Responsibility, it's owning the idea that whatever is in your life is there on purpose. It is there for you. It's happening for you, not to you. And we have 100% responsibility for our choices that we make in response to whatever the offers are in our life. But here's a newsflash. This newsflash was given to me by my coach, who is a brilliant woman. And one day I was talking about all the reasons why, this was years ago, and I was talking about all the reasons, all the things that were slowing me down in the writing of my book, Spontaneous Brilliance, right? And just kind of all the things going on in my life. And there were a lot. I have 5 daughters, and at the time I was primary caregiver for my mother and my sister, and there was just a lot going on. And I had a company I was running, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So I was talking to her about the challenges, and she said in all her grand wisdom, I know that you believe that we have 100% responsibility for our lives. You're saying it all the time. I said, yeah. She goes, and I know that you believe that you take 100% responsibility for your life. And I said, yep. And she said, well, how would it make you feel if I ever said to you that you don't? And I said, well, I don't think it would make me feel much of anything because I know that I do. And she said, yeah, I'm going to say, no, you don't. And I was like, what? What? Yes, I do. And she said, well, let me put it to you this way. There's only 100% in 100%. And so if this child has 10% and 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 your mom has 20% and your sister has 10% and your partner has 20, where are you? Where is your percent? And that was an interesting moment for me. It was a little bit about boundaries because I was super into, my favorite thing is acting, right? And life is about making the other guy look good. So I was super comfortable with that concept. I'm all about helping the other person, right? I'm all about feeding. I love the idea of being a generous actor, of being there for other people. But I wasn't noticing that old adage of you have to put your mask on first when you're on the airplane. Had I not had that process interrupted, even though I was a successful businesswoman and I was a successful director and playwright and coach and teacher and lots of stuff, and I was doing great, but I wasn't completing those things that were calling me, in the depths of my soul. And I think it would have been possible for me to get all the way to the end of my life and have gone, oh, dang it, I missed that, while thinking the whole time that I was doing the right thing by doing everything I could in the support of everyone around me that I loved dearly and deeply and still do. But there was a moment where, had she not interrupted that, had she not said, wait a minute, I probably would have. I would have made it to the end of my life and gone, oops, totally well-intentioned, totally being a person who completely accepts responsibility, but I missed it. If we are taking 100% responsibility for our lives, we have to own that 100%. So when we're giving it away, in time, in deed, whatever it is, we have to recognize that has to be building upon that thing that is calling our soul. What is our sacred purpose? As my daughter Shelley used to say, Mom, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. She's kind of smart. And she was also one of those people who sort of stopped me from rescuing everybody and saving everything and taking on everything because I could. So the thing that my coach taught me at that point, her name is Layla, and the thing that my coach taught me, that Layla taught me at that point, is she said, I want you to ask yourself a question in every situation. And now I use this all the time with my clients, and I'm sharing it with you, okay? Here's the question that you ask yourself when you are faced with any situation, every situation. Try it out all over the place. It's quite festive, the effect, okay? So what you do when you're faced with something that is taking up your world in some way is you ask yourself the question, is this mine? Is this mine? As my one kid says, is this my circus? Is this my monkey? Is this mine? That's the question you're asking yourself. Is this mine to do? Is this mine to take on? Is this mine to be responsible? If the answer is no, then the next question is, then what's the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? And if the answer is yes, then the next question is, then what's the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? So you've only got to remember two questions. Is this mine? If the answer is no, then what's the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? Might be to offer another solution into that circumstance that allows you to place your energies elsewhere. You're still going to make an offer. You're not going to block. It's not about finding an excuse to block by going, it's not my problem. Make an offer, but make an offer that allows you to move your energy into your own path. And then, if the answer is yes, is this mine? Yes, it is. Make an offer. Because if we have to stop and say, is this mine? And the answer is clearly yes. We're probably saying, is this mine, to something that maybe we don't want to do, or maybe it seems hard, or maybe we're looking for some angel voice to show up in our life and go, no, that's okay. You don't have to do that. It's okay. You can go sit on the couch and eat Cheetos. Someday the company that makes Cheetos is going to come and get me, because I'm constantly using Cheetos as the example for how to avoid your life. No offense to Cheetos. But if you are saying, is this mine? And the answer is yes. It is super, super important when you are accepting this is mine, that you then make the offer into your life. What is the most loving thing I can do for myself right now? Because remember, your soul came here on purpose. You are the most precious commodity in your life. Let me say that again. You are the most precious commodity in your life. You are the reason you are here, not to be the background for somebody else, not to take on burdens so that somebody else doesn't have to. If you're taking on a burden, it's because it's yours to take on. Then take it on, and take it on with panache, by golly. But don't take it on just because somebody else suggests that their life would be better if you took it on. But there are only a limited number of things where it is true that it's yours. And how do you know if it's yours? Because your soul is telling you. You are the reason you are here. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. You are the blessing. Remember that in acting as in life, it is all about making the other player look good. Well, what if the other player is you? Hello? You are in this life in a constant play with yourself. And I'm going to read you a quote from Martha Graham to Agnes DeMille. This is one of my favorite quotes in the world, and it's just a small part of this letter, but I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to listen with your eyes closed, even if you've heard it before. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you are safe to do so, close your eyes and really listen to this. And know that she's talking to you. Own this one. Here it is. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. That's what it's all about. Don't block yourself. Accept you. You are the most precious thing here. And in order to be a conscious creator, you have to accept that in this lifetime, what you create is precious. You came here on purpose. So, as always, please always remember and never forget, when in doubt, offer. Because if in doubt, you are probably blocking. All right, my beauties, thank you again for joining me in Spontaneous Brilliance at the Spontaneous Brilliance Podcast. Here at the intersection of creative imagination, personal responsibility, and inspired action. We're taking inspired action together as conscious creators. Woohoo! All right, I want some of you to come and talk to me. So please email me at podcast@spontaneousbrilliance.com. And let's get you on here to have a chat about anything that you're thinking about. Your ideas are valuable. Your brilliance is precious. Come and share it, okay? I'll talk to you again soon.